Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Jigyasa. Today we are going to discuss the topic that is listening, the process of listening and what is the difference between listening and hearing. Now let's start. Listening is one of the skills, it plays one of the important role in communication because if you are saying something to some individual and if he is not listening, then your communication would not get completed. So, to communicate effectively, listening is one of the important skill we say. So, what is listening? Listening involves receiving sound, understanding the message conveyed in the sound you hear, evaluating the message and responding to it. Which means that listening is a process in which we receive some sound waves, we receive those sound waves and we process that. We take that sound waves into the mind and where the mind processes all those sound waves and trying to understand that message, evaluate that message, understand that message and then respond to the person who has given us the message. So in this way we would able to understand the message. So if listening is not there, the communication process would not get completed. Listening is the ability to accurately receive and interpret message in the communication process. Without listening, the we cannot interpret the message or we cannot able to understand that message. We would not able to remember that message as well. Because communication is a two-way process. So effective listening, then if we want to understand the message, then we have to listen that message. And listening is not just the words that we are hearing. It is we have to give due attention to the non-verbal communication of the speaker as well. At times we have to understand how that's specified because we have already understood what is non-verbal communication, what are the ways through which we can understand all those or through which we are getting the communication without any words or in another without any oral and written way. So I already have uploaded a video in non-verbal communication and I have also uploaded a video in process of communication because communication process would not get completed unless and until we will listen the message. So you should know what is the process of communication. So you can go through that video as well. Now, listening is not just quiet while someone else is speaking. Listening is with the mind. It is not only the words which we are receiving from the communicator or the sender of the message. It also involves the mind. You cannot remember something that has said but when we were not listening. So we say listening is one of the skills which is necessary if we want to do effective communication. Now, listening is the key to effective communication. Without the ability to listen effectively, messages are easily misunderstood. The messages which I am sending to someone or someone is sending to me can be easily misunderstood if we are not listening it properly. So now, if we see to this diagram, we see it out of this 100%, most of the time we are communicating, 70% of the time we are communicating in one or the other way. And out of these 70%, 45% of the time, we are just listening. So how important it is, like 70% of the time, we are just communicating to one or the other person and out of that 50% of the time, 45% of the time, we are just listening to the other people. So it shows that how important is listening. Out of these 4 skills, we have 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading and writing. Out of these 4 skills, listening is the first step. We can also take one example. Say when a baby is born, he cannot talk, he cannot communicate basically. Right? Slowly and steadily what happens, he keeps on listening to the people. He keeps on listening to his near and dear ones who is taking care of him. And slowly and steadily he starts speaking. So listening is the first step in understanding that communication, in understanding that communication as well. Now, we also hear one more word, that is hearing. Hearing and listening. These are two words. So, what is the difference between hearing and listening? Now, hearing is a natural process. We have two ears and we have an eardrum inside it. Now, in this eardrum, there is a function in which where sound is a sound travels in waves. So, whenever there is a sound, that sound waves will enter into our eardrum and they will enter, that sound waves will enter into our eardrum. That is called as hearing. Whenever there is any loud noise, which there are some frequencies in the sound waves, if above that frequency sound waves, we would able to listen all those voices. So that is called as hearing. Now, what is the difference in listening? Listening leads to learning in the manner that when all those sound waves are coming into all those sound waves, because in our atmosphere, in the whole day, we are listening so many noises. Out of that all noises, we don't enter all those noises into our brain and process all those noises. Only those noises which we feel are important to us or which is of our usage, those sound waves we will process all those sound waves in our mind, and we will try to understand all those sound waves, and that also this helps in remembering all those messages or understanding all those messages. So in the same way, listening means when we are hearing is a natural process and listening is a wider term. In listening, we are hearing the message and then we are taking it to the next level, and that is reaching to our mind where it is processing that all those sound waves. We are trying to understand all those sound waves and we are getting some meaning out of all those sound waves, and then we are responding it to the speaker that we have understood the message, we have not understood the message, we need more clarifications, or this much clarification is enough for your understanding. So, next, hearing versus listening, if we do the differences, hearing is a physical process only, that is the sound waves will come and they will touch my eardrum, that is called as hearing. And listening it is physical and mental. That sound wave will come into my eardrum, and then I will throw that the sound waves into my mind, and they will process it. They will let me try to understand all those messages. That is called as listening. Now, hearing is a natural process. For example, if I'm on my way, if some car goes next to me, and they have a loud music, I would able to hear all those music that is playing on that vehicle. That is, which means that whenever there is a sound, it is a natural process that it will touch into my eardrum and I would able to listen that sound, hear that sound. And listening is a learned process, because listening is, we don't hear all those sounds. We only hear many sounds, and we take that sounds to the next level only when we feel that those all sounds are important for us, that is of our concern. So we take it to the next process, we take it to our mind, we take it to the brain to process all those communications, and we would able to understand all this. It is a passive process, which means that we are not always listening, we are not always sitting to hear everything. It is just a passive process wherever in my environment there would be a loud noise, I would able to hear that sound. And listening is an active skill, we say, because, for example, in a class, one teacher is teaching and the students are sitting. That is an active process. The students are sitting there just to listen the teacher and take the knowledge from her. That is an active process. So we say listening is a skill that we should improve, so that the communication would automatically get improved. We will get more and more knowledge if we would have more and more good listening skill. Now, hearing is a subconscious. Subconscious means it automatically happens, and listening is a conscious process when we are, for example, if we are attending a conference, if we are sitting in a workshop, if you are attending a class, if I am talking to someone, giving him the information and receiving him information from him, yeah, or we can say a senior is giving task or information to his subordinates. These are all conscious processes in which one individual wants to communicate with the other people. Now, why listening skill is important? See, it improves our communication skill, it improves our relationship. For example, a senior is giving a task to his subordinates and the subordinate is listening it carefully, listening each and everything, noting down all those important things and then doing the work according to the parameters set by the senior. This automatically improves the relationship between the senior and the subordinate and the vice versa. Improves our knowledge. It also if we have a good listening skill, then we gain more and more knowledge. We would able to interpret all those more knowledge into our. We would able to process more knowledge and we will understand it more as well. And it prevents problem because when we listen everything very carefully, then there are very less chances of misunderstanding, misinterpretations, misrepresentations. So it also prevents the problems in communication. Saves time and energy in the way that we don't have to tell the other person again and again something which already he has communicated to me, or if I have communicated to him, I would understand. If I have a good listening skill, I am listening it very carefully, then I would understand it in the first attempt only, so it saves my time or the sender's time and receiver's time both, and energy as well. Leads to better results in the sense that if I am listening it carefully, I would get all of the knowledge carefully. Or for example, we say my senior is giving me some task and giving all the information regarding that task. If I am listening it very carefully, then I would able to give the best result as well. Now we are coming to the process of listening. Now I said listening is a wider term in which hearing is also involved. So the first process is hearing. Whenever there is a sound wave, they will, unless and until that sound wave will not come, if it will not enter in my eardrum, then I would not able to listen as well. So first process is hearing. First I have to hear a sound. Then after receiving that sound, then I have to attend that sound, because in my eardrums there are many sounds in the atmosphere that is entering into my ear. I am not processing all those hearing sounds. I am just attending only those sounds which I feel that they are important to me or they are of my purpose. So I am attending all those sounds. Then which means that I am taking it to my brain. My brain is processing all those sounds into some meaningful words, meaningful understandings. Then it will develop understanding in my mind. Then I will respond to the other person that I have understood the message, I have not understood the message is very clear, the message is not clear. Then again, after that only I will able to remember. Unless and until I will not understand I will not listen something carefully, then I would not able to remember all those things as well. So the end result would be remembering. So this is the process of listening. It starts with the receiver. Whenever there are two people in the communication, one is the sender and the one is the receiver. I have already uploaded a video on process of communication. You can understand communication also, the process of communication also. I have already uploaded all the videos. So you can go through all those videos as well. So in the process of communication, there are two people, sender and receiver, and all these processes, the communication process finish off in a second or in a minute. It looks like someone will receive the message, then it would get processed, then it would respond. It happens very quickly. Then responding the message and remembering the message, this is complete. The process of listening will get complete. Hope you would have understand this listening properly. If you have any doubt, you can write to me in my comment box. Thank you. If you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.